Hi everyone, this is going to be a tutorial on tools that a woman should have around the house. Some of them are high functioning, some of them are just maintenance tools, but you should be able to do simple things around the house without needing someone to do it. Or if your husband isn't handy, okay? Um, my honey happens to be very handy, so I have the use of his tools, but I do have my own tools as well. This is a bag that you can purchase to put your tools in from Home Depot or Lowe's. They have them. Or I know some women who use their grocery bags and they put them in and they fold it up and they put it in the closet. All right. Now, again, these are basics for beginners and some of these are advanced, but we'll go over it. Most importantly, even if you don't garden, you should have a pair of gloves. Okay, when working in the house, whether it's painting, whether it's cleaning certain things, you don't want to get caustic substances, and you can buy these in Home Depot, Lowe's, online, or whatever. The basics to have. Okay, I do have this. It's a 5-in-1 tool. There's two of size of the flathead screwdrivers and two different sizes of Phillips head, and these are socket ends that go into the bottom of the tool. Now when you're not using one of the screwdrivers, you can place the holder in there and then, oh, I put the wrong one in there. See, there we go. And then you're going to place that in there and you have the use of the screwdriver. Okay, that's very easy and it's not expensive. The next thing would be a set of pliers. I use a lot of times these needle nose or these bent needle nose because when you have nails, you can't always get into fine places to grab things. Okay, this is a basic plier. Okay, this is also a good tool. This is an adjustable wrench. Okay, and it adjusts. And there's different sizes of these. This is just the basic heavy duty 200 millimeter wrench. Okay, and then there's a channel lock. And what these do is they lock to certain positions so you can grab things and it holds it there. Okay, now another thing which my honey bought for me, since I have arthritis in my hands and I have a hard time opening jars, is this tool. And it comes in two sizes. And it is kind of a grip thing, which you can use for nuts and bolts as well, big nuts and bolts. I also use it in the kitchen to go around the jar lid, okay, and the latch gives in, say it goes, and then you use the ribbed edge here to counterbalance and open a jar. And it can go very small, as you could see on this one. Okay, so these I keep in my bag of tools in my kitchen. Okay, and they're very handy and they're not very expensive. The next thing is a small hammer. I recommend a hammer with the flathead and a claw. The claw can be used to take screws out of, I shouldn't say screws, nails out of a wall. It could be used to catch whatever's on that you need to pull out. And the hammer is a metal, so it can hammer in anything. The all-time favorite utensil are scissors. You have to have a good pair of scissors in your toolkit. A lot of people don't understand the use of a utility knife, and I recommend one that pulls back in, okay, so the blade is not out, but this can be used for a lot of things. So even if you get as handy as patching a section of drywall, you can use your utility knife. If you're laying down a section of carpeting, flooring, you can use your utility knife rather than a knife or a pair of scissors. Okay, One good thing to have around the house is a tape measure. And this is a 25-foot tape measure. They have ones that are smaller. I like the big numbers to see with that, but you can get one however. Now, generally, if you get motivated to paint and you're not sure how much paint you need, you can measure your room, okay? And give the measurements to the paint guy at the store, and they will figure out how much paint you need to cover your room, okay? So this is needed when you're doing that. There's two different sizes, or there's many different sizes of paint tape. Paint you put on the your hardware. You can put it on your trims, on your floor, your ceiling trim, and then paint your walls, okay? Again, it's good for touching up a section if you need to touch up a section and you don't want to touch an area. So if you're in the bathroom, you would put this against the shower molding, and this way you don't paint your shower molding. They sell also these small sanding blocks. It's almost like an industrial size emery board. Yeah, you could probably fire your nails with this, but no, this was what you would use if you had to. Like I said, if you get motivated to replace a piece of board, and then when you put it in there, you have to sand it down once you spackle it and everything like that. Gorilla tape is another handy thing to keep in your tool bag. This stuff holds like crazy, okay? If you don't have glue, or you just need something to stick it together until the glue sets, a little bit of this goes a long way. The most important thing to have in your tool bag, and I say a rechargeable flashlight. This happens to be a rechargeable battery, a DeWalt battery, okay? But it is, okay, so if you have a project and you need to move wherever the light is, you have it here. It can also hang. This is an investment piece. And again, if you want to build yourself up a toolbox, okay, start an Amazon wish list and put this on there and have somebody buy it for you. Now, I know you had seen when I was putting the garden furniture together, I had the Allen wrenches. Well, as I said, my honey has a lot of tools, and this is one of the tools that I used. I put the Allen wrench adapter in here to make the project go by a little faster for me. And again, remember, as I had said, I have arthritis. So for me to keep constantly turning the Allen wrench was a little bit of a project. So this made the project a little easier for me. And you don't have to go as big as DeWalt. They have other lesser brands in that. But again, when you buy lesser, you get what you pay for. So again, if you're just starting out, like I said, start out with the basics of a screwdriver, hammer, the pliers, and so forth. If all else fails and you can't afford any of these things, this is your number one thing in the kitchen. I wouldn't recommend using your good cutlery, but the dollar store usually sells one-piece silverware. Buy a couple. It can be used as a screwdriver. It can be used as a prier. It can be used as a hammer, okay? I've done it. When I was by myself before my honey, I used to use the screwdriver to tighten up something and things like that, to pick something out. As long as it's not electrical, don't do that with electrical. If you want, you can also buy yourself, if you're having issues with your electrical items, you can buy yourself a what they call a meter, okay? And what it does is it just fits into the electric socket to see if it's live. Some people have issues with lamps and the lamp keeps going off. It might not be the lamp, it might be your socket, okay? Rather than throw the lamp away and buy another one, test it with one of those meters. And they're not that expensive depending on which brand you get. It's just you want to see if it's feeding if it's a live feed to the socket, so you don't, so it's telling you whether or not it's the lamp or the socket, in other words. Okay, if you're not getting full voltage to this socket, it's not letting the lamp get enough, and that's why the lamp keeps going out. Yeah, so basically, if you have any questions, any suggestions to add to the tool bag, please put it in the comments for somebody else to learn from. Women have to learn to be a little bit more independent nowadays, and it's doable. Like, I changed the ice maker on the refrigerator by myself, and it's still working. It's working perfectly fine. So if I can do it at my age, anyone can do it. The other thing I wanted to say is I do have on my apron, which has pockets, and it's stained up because I've used it before, but I use it if I'm doing work in the house, whether it's painting or whether I'm changing something with oil. Even when I work on my car, cleaning it, sometimes I wear the apron to keep me clean in the front. And I just picked this up, I believe, at Home Depot. It's a pockets, and it's almost like a cooking apron, but I use it as a work apron. And it's not expensive. So there you have it. I hope I motivated you to go out and get some tools so you can do some things yourself, as simply as changing the light socket plate. If you want to get decorative ones, or you want to make your own decorative ones with decoupage. So take the plates off, decoupage a nice design on it, and then put it back in. You will need the screwdriver for that. So until next time, I hope I've motivated you to go out and push yourself and do some things that maybe you have been afraid to do. Okay? And again, if you have any suggestions or comments, let me know. Okay, guys? Have a good one.